Hey, fellow flute friends, it's me, Rebecca, here on the Learn Flute podcast for episode 7.
You can do it, and Rebecca will show you how, step by step all along the way. Introducing the Learn Flute podcast.
Well, hi and welcome again back here for episode 7 of the Learn Flute podcast. I'm excited to help you along with another quick tip for better learning how to play the flute. And I'm sure you're just as thrilled because this is going to be a brief discussion that will help you while learning how to get better tone on the flute. Now, I'm always happy to teach you something. In fact, teaching people how to get more enjoyment from playing their flute is one of my favorite things to do in the whole wide world. I've been teaching since I was pretty young, and it's always been something I felt called to do, if I can put it that way. So today, I wanted to discuss with you one of the many pieces and parts of the recipe for good tone. Now, I use this word tone a lot, and if you're not quite sure what I mean, let me give you a quick but really easy to understand definition. So the word tone is used to describe what we sound like. For example, right now I'm using a wispy, feathery tone. And now I'm using a nasally tone. Well, basically, we flute players need to pay the most attention to our tone because it's ultimately what we and others listening hear. And that's the point of playing the flute, right? We make sound. So now there are several parts to our tone, and once we spend enough time getting to know what we're listening for, we can improve. So the very first part I wanted to point out is the strength of our tone. Now, many people feel that in order to get a really clear sound out of a flute, they have to make a teeny tiny little hole in their mouth and then blow really softly as well. I'm here to tell you that this is really not true. In fact, that will affect the quality, size, and pitch of your tone, which are also other parts of our sound. Now, you'd be surprised at how strongly and firmly you really can blow and still keep the integrity of the note. Now, by integrity, I mean by keeping the note where it should be. Like if it's supposed to be a low A, then you need to keep it in the lower octave. But by blowing harder, you might find out that it's more difficult for you to keep the right octave. You might accidentally blow so hard that the note pops up to an octave you weren't expecting, or even you may get an awesome squeak, which is usually an unrecognizable note. So we have to learn how to do that, and I will show you how. The strength of our tone is important because it affects quality, pitch, and size of your tone. Now, remember, we're going to be keeping it simple today and just try to stay with one subject. So now let's keep going with that visualization of the word strength in tone and see if you can close your eyes and picture this. Picture an airstream. Now, in my mind, it looks like a long, round ribbon or rope. But I don't like to really think of the word rope because the ropes that we use here on our little farm where I live are really dry and fringy. They cause blisters on my hands, and I don't want to associate the word rope with my musical tone. But if I could take and make a silky ribbon and shape it like a rope, where it's really thick and slick, then I might enjoy imagining what it would sound like even more. So do this for me now. Blow a medium-sized quarter note like this. You may just be hearing one thing, but when I listen to that, I hear 3 distinctly different parts. First is the entrance into the note, and in this case, it's the tongue. When we go from silence into the note by using our tongue to release the airstream that comes shooting out of our mouth. Now, if you have questions on tonguing and the different styles or ideas, or even which way is best for you, that's something I teach in the lesson modules over at learnfluteonline.com. So you can go over there and get yourself some lessons where I go way into depth with that. Now, after the entrance or the tongue, I hear and feel the substance of the note, like I would think of that as being called the body of the note. I feel and hear the shape and size as well as the texture of it too. Like when I was mentioning that I'd rather hear a silky smooth rope rather than a fringy dry one. After the body of the note, I hear how it ends. Yep, this is the part of the tone that many and most people just forget all about. They're so focused on the next upcoming note that they forget all about the fact that ending a note in a certain manner is just as important as the start of the note itself. And again, these are the things that I take you way into depth with over in the lesson modules online. But I think that just having this quick discussion here today can put your focus and attention on the fact that there are indeed 3 different parts to each note, which all combined together with a few other things create our tone when we play. Now, it's food for thought today. I hope you enjoy visualizing what each of your notes look like this week as you practice. Keep it slow, steady, and exactly while you listen. If you have a question or comment about today's episode, you can leave it in the appropriate place over at the learnfluteonline.com website in the podcast section on the bonus content page, or by typing this address in your browser bar, learnfluteonline.com/007. And that's because this is episode 7, and I'm excited for you to learn even more. If you haven't thought about it yet or just didn't know, I have a nice Learn Flute Online Facebook page. You'd probably love to check it out since I put even more extra content there, including some videos, flute funnies, and even roll call pages once a month. You can all check in with me there. I personally am the one answering and commenting there, so come check it out. And don't forget to click like so that it has a better chance of making it into your news feed for the day. Well, love you all and your efforts. I will see you next time.
Thanks for listening today. Remember that this is where people of all ages, such as you, can come, learn, and play the musical instrument flute in an easy-to-follow, organized manner, and in the privacy and comfort of your own home, on your own schedule.